Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing absolutely well. So guys, in this video we are going to study Cognizant Technical Assessment previous year questions. Okay, this is going to be very helpful for you if you are also going to appear for your technical assessment very soon. And because we have seen previously also the questions of technical assessment gets repeated a lot. Okay, so it is very important to prepare from previous year questions for your technical assessment so that you are well prepared beforehand, because there are high chances that the questions related to topics like SQL and from HTML CSS might get repeated. Okay, so make sure that you watch the video till complete, and after watching it make sure to revise, also prepare well. For some questions you need to practice it on your own. Just by watching videos might not help. Okay, so after watching the video, practice it on your own also. So that's all, and without wasting any time, let's now start with our today's video. But before that, if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet, because I regularly post these kinds of helpful videos for all of you. Also, there is a complete playlist on my channel related to Cognizant GenC preparation. If you haven't checked that, I would say that is a must check for all of you, because I have already uploaded a lot of questions on that, okay, related to your technical assessment, your aptitude preparation, okay, SQL technical assessment questions, and a lot more. So make sure to check that. Now let's start with our first question. Let's look at this question. The question that we have is, write the query to combine the result sets of two or more select statements. Okay, so see, how can you write the answer of this can be, you will not have any MCQs first of all. Okay, you will need to write the query by your own. See, so in order to answer this, you should know about this command, that is union. Okay, so basically union is the one which is used to combine the result sets of two or more select statements. Okay, so see what is happening here is, we have one select statement, that is select star from table. Okay, table 1. Okay, then we have union, okay, which is like the connector. Union is something like, you can say as it is an operator which combines the result of select statements and removes the duplicate values. Okay, and there is also something called as union all also. Okay, I'll tell you that also. So see, in this way what will happen is, we are having two select statements, right? Like table 1 and table 2, getting some data from table 1 and table 2, and then we are applying union in between. So what it will do is, it will combine two select statements and will give us the result. Okay, as I told you, there is something called as union all also. What is the purpose of that? So if you want to keep the duplicates, right, as I told you in this one, what it will do is, it will remove any duplicates that are there from table 1 and table 2. But if you want to keep those duplicates also, you should do union all. Okay, and the number of columns and their data types must match in both the queries. Okay, that is the main condition here. But yeah, this was the query. Hope you have understood it. Let's now move on to the next question. The next question is this one, that is, write a query to retrieve rows with dates within a specified range. Okay, see, how can we write that? Select column name from table name. Okay, where column name between, and then you have to give the range. Okay, range of the date is mentioned by A. Okay, see, the between operator basically is used. Okay, this between operator is used to filter the records where the date falls within a given range, right? In this case, we have taken two dates, right? 1st January and 30th of July, I think. So it is useful when dealing with time-based queries such as retrieving sales data for a specific period and all. Okay, so you should remember this between operator. Okay, in this one, between operator was the one which was mainly important. Okay, and these are all query based question. Okay, so you will not get any options. Okay, so you need to write the query by your own. So let's revise the query once again, and then we will quickly move on to the next question. The query is, select column name from table name where column name between this and this. Okay, let's now move on to the next question. Write a query to retrieve specific columns from a table. Okay, so in this one we have to retrieve specific columns from a given table. Okay, so the query is, select first name, last name from employees. This is the most basic query, right? Because we have these as the column names, that is first name and last name, and we are retrieving it from the employees table. Okay, hope you have understood it. It is basically helpful in, select is basically helpful in fetching the specified data rather than selecting the columns. And if you want to take everything, then we have something called as this star. Okay, so that's it. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, so we have again this query based question. Okay, let's read it out. First of all, write a query to create a table named employees with fields like employee ID, employee name, employee age, employee address, and employee salary. Okay, see, so how to do that? Create table and table name, that is employees, and then whatever fields that we need to have in that table. So we need to have employee ID. So type of employee ID can be what? Integer. So that is why we have mentioned int. Next is employee name. Employee name can be of what type? Varchar. Okay, and we have mentioned the limit as 40. Next is employee age, that is type of int, and then employee address, again varchar. Next is employee salary, int. Okay, so very basic query. The things which are given to us by using that only we have to write the query. Okay, hope you have understood it. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have this type of question now. Let's see what we need to do in this types of question. Okay, see, build a table that displays data about products, including columns for product name, price, and availability. Okay, so see, we need to create a table first of all that displays data about products, including columns for product name, price, and availability. Okay, so how the table should look like? First, you should understand that figure in a figure. Okay, then only you can write the code for it. So it is saying the column name should be product name, product price, and availability. So like product name, okay, price, and availability. Okay, this is like your column names. Okay, and then you will have rows based on like data in the rows based on these columns. Okay, and this is like, you can say, products table. Okay, now how we will write the code? So this code again you need to write. Okay, so let's understand the structure in HTML. In order to create a table, first of all, table is the tag that you need to use. Okay, table. See, here we are using, this is the opening and this is the closing. Now in table also we have few things, right? As I told you, there will be a header and then there is a body. Okay, so that is why we have separated these two, right? First we are mentioning header and then we are mentioning body. Okay, so because header is what? Header is your initial, or like the headings, right? Which are telling you what the data is about, right? So table header, and then table header we have a row inside that, right? Like table head, inside that we have a row in which we have our column names. So that is why table row, and inside that we will mention th, which is like product name, product price, and product availability. Okay, this is table head, th for table head. So these things will be bold, a little bit bolder. Okay, so that it will show that these are the header values. Next is what? Table body, right? Now everything that is there inside the table body is what? Again will be in table rows only, right? So first row, second row, third row, in this way we will have the data. So let's see in first row what is the data that we will have. We will have like product name as in product A, right? Product A. Okay, then we will have the product price, right? Like $10, and then we will have availability if it is in stock or out of stock. Okay, so we will have this thing. So hope you understood it. See, first thing, to create the entire table we are using table. Okay, to create the head, like the first row which is a head, what we are using? Table head. Okay, T head, and then inside the table head we will have the data in a row format, that is why tr, and then to have the data in a bold format, that is why we are using th. Okay, for the data entries. Okay, now closing tags of all of these again you have to like apply. Okay, so closing tags will be like this. Now what? Rows. Okay, rows data. So rows is what? Rows, like normal data is a part of table body, so we will use the tag t body, and inside that we will use again in the row format we are storing the data, right? So row we will create one, and in one row how many cells are there, according to that we can create the table data. Okay, so table data 1, table data 2, in this way. Okay, and whatever the table data that you have to mention, that you can store. Hope you have understood the answer. In this way you have to write the code. If you don't have the practice, I would suggest that practice beforehand by writing this code. Okay, it is very easy. If you practice once or twice, you will get it easily. Moving on to the next one. We have this question now. Okay, again this is a question based on HTML CSS only. Let's see. Design a simple HTML form with input fields, name, email, and message, and a submit button. Okay, so let's see. And you know, like guys, I can also suggest you one thing, that you know, these types of questions from technical assessment also gets repeated a lot. Okay, so maybe if you are practicing these questions, then there is high chance that you know, these kind of questions, if they are getting repeated, you will have a like good hands-on, right? Because you have already practiced it beforehand. So I would highly suggest you that if you are also going to appear for these clusters and technical assessment, make sure that you practice it beforehand. Just by watching the video won't help. So if required, you can write this structure in your notebook, or if required, you can write it in the system and try it out on your own. Okay, so please try at least. Let's see in this question what you need to do. We need to like design a simple HTML form which will have input fields. Okay, for name, email, and a message, and we need to also have a button. See, let's start. First of all, in order to have a form, we need a form tag, okay, initially only. So form tag is here, okay. Now form tag also have few things like action is equals to submit and method is equals to post. See, these are not mandatory, but these are helpful for submitting the form, okay. So these are not mandatory attributes if you see, but yeah, action submit means you can, when you click on enter button, this form will be submitted, and method post is, this is a post type form, the data will be sent, okay. So this is used for you creating the form. Now what we are told is we need to create input fields, right, for name, email, message. Now see, input field is usually created by input field, okay. So how our form will look like, I'll show you in the structure, okay. I'll show you in the structure, okay. So they want that our form should have fields for name, email and message, okay. So see, ideally they are saying that you should have a like you know, input fields for name, email and message, so you won't create directly the input boxes, right? Otherwise the other person will not know what I have to enter in this like, you know, input field. The end user might not get to know, so you have to make it meaningful. That is why you also need to give a label, right? So that is why this is called as label and this is called as input field, okay. So in this way you need to have the label and input field for name, email, and then what, input field for email, and then one more thing is there, which is a message, okay, message, okay. And then finally you need to have a submit button. Submit button looks something like this, okay. So let's see how can you do that. See, as I told you, input can be created using this input tag, okay, and in that input tag has different attributes. For example, name, okay, what type of value you will fill in the name? You will fill a text type of value. That is why we have given the type as text, okay. And it is good to give ID, but again not mandatory, okay. So you can give the ID as the same label name only, okay. So ID here we have given as name, and then name value as name, okay. And then you have closed the input. So just by writing this statement, okay, this statement will give you this input box, okay. Then we have this label. So label, as I told you, you also need to make it meaningful so that the end user will understand what they are filling in. So label, and then for, you can mention name and then name, okay, in this way. So whatever you write here will be mentioned here. See, now guys, you might be getting confused for attributes, okay. So as I'm telling you, attributes are not mandatory, okay. All attributes are not mandatory. Some which are mandatory, that only if you will write also, that also is fine. If you don't write, for example, you know, if you don't write this ID here, okay, that is totally fine. If you don't write this name equals to name, that is also fine. That is what I'm trying to say here. So your main goal is to have the HTML structure, right? And attributes are giving additional you know, functionality to the attributes. So that's what I'm trying to say here, that your main goal is to have the proper tags first, okay. So if you write label and input, then your label will be showcasing here and then input will be showcasing here, and that is what it is asked in the question, right? Okay, next, first label and input we have done. Next is your email. So for email also we will do the same, email and then label as email and then input as simple input box with the attributes, okay. So we will have this email input also. Next is your message input. So in message input we are note that we are using a text area. Why so? Because see, message is something which has larger text, right, and not smaller text. So text area gives us the facility that we can enter a large amount of text. That is why you are using text area here, okay. So in this way you will have your message. Next is, at the end we need to add a submit button. So for that we have used the input, okay. So input type submit, value equals to submit, okay. If required, you can also use a button tag also, that is totally fine. So basically you have to serve the purpose, whatever is asked in the question, you have to use the tags and create that kind of structure, okay. Hope you have understood it. Let's now move on to the next question. See, this is our next question, again based on SQL. The question is, write a query to delete all the rows from a table but keeps the table structure, okay. The answer for this will be, and the query will be, truncate table name, okay. See, truncate table is what? Truncate table commands removes all the records from a table but keeps the structure intact. It is faster than delete and does not log individual row deletions. See, I'll tell you what happens is, if you have this type of table structure, okay, which has like maybe, you know, ID, okay, then name and age, okay, something like this, and it has some data inside it. So when you will do truncate table, what it will do, it will remove all the records, okay. Like for example, if it is like the data is like Ram and then age is like 20, okay, and in this the age is 30, 40, and then Sham and then whatever, okay, there is some data basically in this table. So when you will do truncate, all this data will be refreshed and it will be removed, but the actual structure of the table will stay, okay, and this is faster than delete. So in some cases, you know, we need also this kind of situation where we just need to keep the structure of the table because we are going to fill it with another data, but we just want to delete all the entries in the table. So for that purpose we use truncate, okay. Hope it is very clear now. Let's now move on to the next question. See, we have this question: write the query to retrieve the maximum value from a column. Okay, see, now there can be a table, okay, which is like I would say maybe like salary or something. Let's suppose salary, which has salary of different employees, okay, in every cell. Now we want to find out, and it has like lots of data, okay, like 10,000 lines or something, maybe a lot of data it is there. We cannot take out the data manually, right? So we need to find out the maximum salary out of this given column. So how can we do that? So for that, the query is select max of column name. For example, in our case, it will be salary if we are like doing it for the salary. So max of salary from table name, whatever is our table. For example, if the table name is employee data or something, so instead of table name, we will use employee data. Okay, hope it is very clear. Basically, the main part is max function that we have to use, because the max function returns the highest value in a specified column. It is used for finding the highest salary and these type of data. Okay, as I explained you, maximum price, most recent data in a data set. Okay, let's now move on to the next question. The question is, write a query to combine two rows with the help of left join. Okay, so we have joins in SQL. We all are aware, right? So let's see the SQL query. So the query is select E dot first name, D dot department name from employee E, left join department D on E dot department ID is equals to D dot department ID. See, a left join, what it does is it returns all the records from the left table and matching records from the right table. Okay. If there is no match, null is written. Okay, so you have to understand left join is basically used for what purpose? All record from left table and matching record from right table. Okay, this you have to remember. And in case of right join, you have to do it the vice versa. Okay, like all record from right table and matching record from left table. That is the only difference. And if there is no match, okay, then it will give null. Okay, hope you have understood it. Let's now move on to the null as in, okay, null as in for what? Null for the right table. Okay, if there is no match, because for left table it will give the complete record, all record, right? Let's move on to the next question now, which is this one. We have again a HTML structure based question. Let's see the question. Build a basic navigation bar with links to home, about, services and contact pages. Okay, so see, navigation bar is what? First of all, you have to understand that. So if you must have visited a website, right? So in a website, the top bar that we have, okay, inside that bar, you might have seen a hamburger icon here. Then we have like sections like about, right? Then contact us, right? Then services, etc, like there is there. When you click on that, you will be redirected to a new page, right? Something like that. That is called as a navigation bar. Okay, this is a navigation bar. Oh, you understood the thing. What is the navigation bar? First of all, now let us see how we write the code of navigation bar in HTML. So for navigation bar, we have a tag called nav. Okay, so nav is the tag that you need to use for a navigation bar. So initially this will set up that this will tell the HTML that you are writing the code for navigation bar. Okay, this much is done. Now what is the next thing that you are going to do? You are going to show this data as a list. Okay, which means a list is there, and then inside that list there are some entries. Okay, so for that, what you are using is UL. UL stands for unordered list. Okay, unordered list. And then in that unordered list, we have list item. Okay, so your list will come something like this. Okay, first thing will be your home. Okay, then your about, services and contact. Now this is important, guys. Href is important because see, we are using a tag. A tag is what? To make your navigation a link. Okay, so when someone will click on that, they will be redirected to somewhere. So for that, we are using a tag, and where they should redirect to, so that reference is given in href. Basically, index.html is the page name. Okay, so in this way you can create your navigation bar. Hope it is clear to everyone. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following are features of cloud computing? Okay, we have the options. The options are security, availability, large network access, and option D is all of the mentioned. The correct answer for this question is going to be option number D, which is all of the mentioned, because cloud computing offers security, availability and large network access, ensuring scalable and efficient computing resources over the internet. So everything is getting everything is a feature of cloud computing, we can say. Okay, moving on to the next one. Which of the following is a type of cloud computing service? Okay, and we have different services. So we all know that in cloud computing there are three major services, right? Like as software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. Okay, now in this one we are given 4 options for a software as a service, and there might be some mistakes, okay, in every option. Let's read the options and then we will figure out. Let's see. Service as a software, this is wrong. Software and a server, this is also wrong. Software as a service, this is correct, and then software as a server is also wrong. So the correct answer will be option number C, which is software as a service. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an example of cloud? We have different options given to us. First is Amazon Web Services, second is Dropbox, third is Cisco WebEx, and fourth is all of the above. Let's see what is the correct answer. The correct answer is going to be all of the above, because see, AWS, Dropbox, and Cisco, these are all cloud based platforms, and they provide cloud based things, right? For example, AWS, what it provides cloud infrastructure, hosting, computing resources. In the same way, Dropbox, what does it provide? It is a cloud storage device. You can store your documents, data, right, in Dropbox. And what is Cisco WebEx? Cisco WebEx is a cloud based video conferencing tool. So all these are cloud based, right? That is why all these are the examples of cloud. Okay, moving on to the next question now. Okay, so the next question is this one. Which of the following is a cloud platform provided by Amazon? Okay, now let's read the option. AWS, Cloudera, Azure, all of the mentioned. See, the correct answer for this question is AWS, because AWS itself stands for Amazon Web Services. Okay, Amazon Web Services. Okay, so that is why AWS is given by Amazon. Okay, and it is used for basically it is a cloud platform offering computing, storage, network, and security services. And Cloudera, okay, what is Cloudera? It is like basically specializes in big data analytics purpose. And Azure is like from Microsoft and not from Amazon. That is why that is also not the answer. The correct answer for this question is going to be option number A, which is A. So in this syllabus, if you see this part, okay, so I was telling you, right, in Cognizant Round 2, basically there are two things. First is Aptitude Assessment and the second is Technical Assessment. So in Technical Assessment, we have 3 clusters, Cluster 1, Cluster 2, and Cluster 3. So in Cluster 2, so if you opt for Cluster 2, so you will get coding, Python, query, database, ANSI, SQL, and MySQL. For this also I have uploaded the video already. Make sure to check that if you haven't checked it. And this video is going to be for this part, okay, that is cloud fundamentals, multiple choice questions, and there are the topics that is given. The topics are like introduction to cloud computing, cloud service models, cloud deployment models, virtualization, cloud providers, basic cloud services. Okay, so you will get MCQs questions on these topic. Okay, so let's look at this question. What is the primary benefit of cloud computing? The options that we have are reduced operational cost, increased hardware requirements, less scalability, decreased efficiency. So the correct answer for this question is going to be option number A, which is reduced operational cost. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is not a service model in cloud computing? The options that we have are IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and DaaS. So guys, just in case if you are not aware the full forms of IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, so I'll tell you. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. Okay, and let's see the other ones. Then we have platform as a service. Then we have software as a service. Okay, so there is nothing called as DaaS. So the correct answer in this case is option D, that is DaaS. So DaaS is not a service model in cloud computing. Moving on to the next question. What does IaaS stand for in the context of cloud computing? So guys, in previous question only I told you all the full forms. So the correct answer for this will be infrastructure as a service. So IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. Hence the correct answer for this question is option B. Moving on to the next question. Guys, before we look at the next question, if you are new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Let's look at this question now. Which of the following is an example of public cloud provider? The options that we have are Google Cloud, AWS, that is Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and all of the above. So guys, in this one, the correct answer is going to be option number D, that is all of the above. So all of the above, like that is Google Cloud, AWS, Microsoft Azure, all are public cloud providers. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. The question is, which deployment model of cloud computing is the most commonly used by businesses? Okay, and we have different models as the option. First is private cloud, second is public cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. So in this one, the correct answer is going to be hybrid cloud. That is option number C. So hybrid cloud model is most commonly used by businesses actually. So that is why we have selected this answer. Moving on to the next question. Next question is based on virtualization. Okay, so let's read the question first. Virtualization in cloud computing allows for, we have different options. First is creating multiple virtual instances of physical hardware. Option B is increased hardware requirements. Option C is reduced internet speed. Option D is storing all data in one location. So guys, see, virtualization word itself means, right, with the first option itself you can understand creating multiple virtual instances of physical hardware. So that is why the correct answer is going to be option number A in this case. Okay, moving on to the next question. So guys, I just want to suggest you that before directly watching the solutions, try to think of the answer in your own mind, and if you can't figure out, then you can continue watching, but at least think for one of the answers. Okay, and guys, I know that these questions, it won't be like you will just watch this video once and it will be fit in your mind. You might need to watch the video twice or thrice so that you will be like fully prepared for these types of questions. Okay, let's now move on to the next question. Which of the following cloud providers offers a PaaS, okay, which is platform as a service model? Options that we have is AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and all of the above. So this is correct answer in this case is option D, that is all of the above, because all of the above, which is like AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, all of them provided PaaS services. Okay, PaaS services as in platform as a service cloud computing service they provide. That is why we have selected all of the above. Moving on to the next question that we have. Which of the following is a key characteristics of hybrid cloud deployment model? Okay, and let's see the options that we have. First is it involves only private cloud infrastructure. Option B is it combines both private and public cloud environments. Option C is it uses a community cloud environment, and option D is it is only accessible by a single organization. The correct answer in this case would be option number B, that is it combines both private and public cloud environments. Let's move on to the next question now. So in this question, what we are asked is, in which service model do customers manage the applications while the provider manages everything else? Okay, and we have the options, that is SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, DaaS. Okay, so the correct answer in this case is going to be PaaS. Okay, that is in platform as a service. What happens? What was the question that was asked? Customers manage the applications while the provider manages everything else. So application is managed by whom? It is managed by customer in case of PaaS. Okay, let's now move on to the next question that we have. The question is, which of the following is not a feature of cloud computing? Okay, let's read the options. The first option is on-demand self-service, broad network access, increased hardware requirements, and option D is resource pooling. See, so hardware requirements is not does not comes under what cloud computing. Okay, rest everything like on demand self service. So whenever there is a need of self service regarding any regarding any of the feature which is provided, you can get that. Broad network access, and then resource also can be increased or reduced. So all of these are provided by cloud computing, but hardware requirements increasing is not related to cloud computing. Okay, moving on to next question. In a public cloud, resources such as computing power and storage are, let's see the options, shared by multiple users, dedicated to a single organization. Option C is only accessible by government agencies, and option D is located on premise. The correct answer in this case is shared by multiple users. Answer in this case is going to be option A, that is resources such as computer power and storage are shared by multiple users. Moving on, what does the pay-as-you-go pricing model in cloud computing mean? Okay, so let's see the options that we have. Option A is you pay upfront for all the services. Option B is you only pay for the resources you use, and option C is you pay fixed monthly fees, and option D is you pay for storage only. Okay, so the correct answer in this case will be option B, which is you only pay for the resources you use. So see, it is pay as you go, which means only the things which you use For that only you need to pay, and you don't need to pay, like it does not mean that you have to pay upfront for all services. No, you do not have to pay any fixed monthly amount. So how much usage you are having, that much you have to pay. Okay, let's move on now to the next question. Which of the following is an advantage of cloud computing for businesses? Let's see the options that we have. First option is reduced need for IT staff. Option B is increased capital expenditure. Option C is less scalability, and option D is reduced network access. The correct answer in this case would be option A, that is reduced need for IT staff. Okay, so this is one of the advantage of cloud computing for businesses, because see, with cloud computing, the need of IT staff has reduced a bit. Okay, because things are on the cloud now, right? Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is a major risk of cloud computing? Okay, major risk of cloud computing we have to tell. First option is security and privacy concern. Option B is increased hardware requirement. Option C is reduced network access, and option D is limited scalability. The correct answer for this will be option A, that is security and privacy concerns is a major risk of cloud computing. Okay, moving on to the next question now. So what type of cloud computing model would a large enterprise that needs to keep its data private and secure likely use? Options are private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. The correct answer in this case is going to be private cloud, which is option A. Okay, so large enterprise that needs to keep their data private, they usually use private clouds because it is more secure. Okay, moving on to question this one, which is which of the following is an example of IaaS? Okay, so let's see the options that we have. First option is Google App Engine. Option B is AWS EC2, that is Elastic Compute Cloud. Option C is Microsoft Azure App Service, and option D is Dropbox. Let's see the correct answer for this one. The correct answer is option number B, that is AWS EC2. So AWS EC2 is an example of what? IaaS. You have to remember that. Okay, moving on to the next question. In a cloud computing environment, virtualization allows us for, options are the creation of isolated environments on a physical machine. Option B is a single user to access all resources. Option C is direct access to hardware components. And option D is storing data on premises. The correct answer in this case is option number A, that is the creation of isolated environments on a physical machine. Let's now move on to our next question. What does SaaS stand for in cloud computing? So guys, in one of the previous questions only I told you SaaS stands for what? Software as a service. Okay, so let's see if we have this option or not. First option is secure software as a service only. Yes, so this is only the correct answer. Let's but also see the different options. Okay, because sometimes the options are tricky, so always I will suggest that always read all the options given to you. Second option is security as a service. Third is service as a software. Fourth is storage as a service. So the correct answer in this case, as we have seen, is going to be option number A, which is software as a service. Let's now move on to the next question. Which cloud service model requires customers to manage the operating system and applications? Okay, let's see the options that we have. So first is IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Second is platform as a service. Third is software as a service, and fourth is option D, which is all of them. So see, in this case the correct answer is going to be IaaS, okay, which is infrastructure as a service. Hence the correct answer is option A, that is IaaS cloud service model requires customers to manage the operating system and application. Basically they will provide you the infrastructure, and then customer or you will manage the operating system and the applications inside it. Moving on to the next question. In which deployment model is the cloud infrastructure shared by several organizations with common concerns? So the options that we have are public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, and hybrid cloud. The correct answer is option C, okay, that is community cloud. Correct answer is option C. Community cloud deployment model is the cloud infrastructure shared by several organizations with common concern. See, the word itself has community in it, okay. So with that also you can remember these types of questions. Let's move on to the next question, which is which of the following is a typical feature of virtualization in cloud computing? Okay, let's see the options that we have. Running multiple operating systems on the same physical machine. Option B is storing data in a local data center. Option C is increased reliance on a physical hardware. Option D is direct access to physical network interfaces. The correct answer in this case is going to be option number A, that is running multiple operating systems on the same physical machine. That is the main or typical feature of virtualization in cloud computing. Moving on to the next question now. Which cloud deployment model would be the most appropriate for an organization that needs to keep some data on premises and use public cloud services for other needs? Let's see the option that we have. First option is hybrid cloud. Second is community cloud. Third is public cloud, and fourth is private cloud. So see guys, before looking into the answer of this question, let's try to understand what the question is asking. Which deployment model would be most appropriate for an organization that needs to keep some data on premise? See, one thing is told is they need to keep data on premise and plus use public cloud services for other needs. So use public cloud services for other needs. So they want both things, okay, like on premise and public cloud. So when both are needed, so for that we will select option A, which is hybrid cloud. Okay, so that's why in this case the correct answer is going to be hybrid cloud. Moving on to the next question now. What is one of the primary roles of a cloud service provider, that is CSP? Let's see the options that we have. First option is to manage customer devices. Option B is to offer resources such as computing power and storage on demand. Option C is to manage customer business operations, and option D is to provide end user technical support. The correct answer in this case is going to be option number B, that is to offer resources such as computing power and storage on demand. That is the main primary role of CSP, that is cloud service provider. Moving on to our next question now. Which of the following is an example of a private cloud service? Okay, let's see the options that we have. First option is Amazon EC2. Second option is VMware vSphere. Option C is Google Cloud Storage, and option D is Microsoft Azure. So in this case, the correct answer is option B, which is VMware vSphere. Okay, let's now move on to the next question, which is this one. What is the key difference between public and private clouds? Let's see the options that we have. Public clouds are managed by the customer. Private clouds are for individual use only. Public clouds are accessible to multiple customers. And last option is private clouds are used for public services. So in this one, we have to basically tell the difference between public and private cloud. The correct option in this case is going to be option number C, which is public cloud are accessible to multiple customers. Okay, that is the main difference. So the correct answer is going to be option number C. Let's now move on to our next question. What does PaaS offers to customer? PaaS stands for platform as a service. So let's see the options that we have. A fully managed virtual server. Option B is an environment to develop, run and manage application without dealing with infrastructure. Option C is software application that are ready for use, and option D is virtual storage space. The correct answer is option B, that is an environment to develop, run and manage applications without dealing with infrastructure. Basically the like what PaaS provides is it provides an environment to develop, run and manage applications. This is very important guys, just remember this one, okay, because this is a service that PaaS provides, okay, platform as a service provides. So if you remember, you can solve many questions based on this. Let's now move on to our next question. In cloud computing, which of the following is an example of basic cloud service? Let's see the options that we have. Option A is virtual machine. Option B is DBaaS, that is database as a service. Option C is load balancer, and option D is all of the above. So guys, in this one, the correct answer is going to be all of the above. Okay, that is all of these are the example of basic cloud services. Virtual machines, cloud service basically provides virtual machines also. Cloud services provide databases also. They provide load balancers also if there is a lot of load, right, to balance that. So all of this is the correct answer for this question. Moving on to our next question. Which of the which is one of the challenges used? Sorry, again let me read the question from starting. Which of the challenges of using cloud computing for businesses? Let's see the options that we have. First option is decreased scalability. Option B is security and data privacy concern. Option C is reduced network speed, and option D is increased hardware usage. So the correct answer in this case is option number B, that is security and data privacy concerns. So these are like some of the challenges when it comes to cloud computing for businesses. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is an example of public cloud service provider. Okay, let's see the options that we have. First option is IBM Cloud. Second is AWS, that is Amazon Web Service. Third is Microsoft Azure, and fourth option is option D, which is all of the above. So again, in this case also the correct answer is going to be option D, that is all of them are the examples of public cloud service provider. Moving on to our next question. Which cloud computing models allows for the most flexibility and control over computing resources? Again, we have the options as PaaS, SaaS, IaaS, and hybrid cloud. The correct answer is going to be IaaS. Okay, that is option number C. So IaaS allows for most flexibility and control over computing resources. Let's now move on to the next question. In a hybrid cloud environment, which is true? We have to mention that. Okay, options are: data is only stored in public cloud, both public and private cloud models are used together, it requires only on-premise infrastructure, it uses only one cloud provider. Okay, the correct answer is option number B, that is both public and private models are used together. So you can also write something like this: hybrid is what? Hybrid is public plus private. Okay, hence the correct answer in this question is going to be option number B. Let's now move on to our next question. What is the main purpose of cloud virtualization? Let's see the options that we have. To separate the storage layer from computer layer. Option B is to run multiple applications on the same hardware. Option C is to reduce energy consumption. And option D is to automate cloud resource management. The correct answer in this case is going to be option number B, that is to run multiple applications on the same hardware. Okay, so answer B is the correct answer of this question. So cloud virtualization, what is the main purpose of that? We have to mention that. Next question. Okay, before guys we move on to the next question, if you guys are feeling that this video is helping you a little bit, please make sure that you like this video so that it gives me motivation to bring more such videos in future. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so, because it takes a lot of hard work to bring these kinds of content for all of you. Let's now see this question. Which cloud service model is most important for businesses that want to focus on using software without worrying about the infrastructure? Okay, so you understood the question. The options are IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and DaaS. Okay, the correct answer in this case is software as a service. Okay, that is like if business wants to focus main on software, right? In the question only it is mentioned, right? Focus more on software without worrying about infrastructure. So if the question would be like their focus should be on infrastructure, then we would have selected the answer as IaaS. But here they are mentioning that they need to keep the focus on software. That is why we have selected the answer as option C, which is SaaS, software as a service. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following best describes a community cloud? Okay, let's see the options that we have. Option A is cloud infrastructure that is shared by several organizations with similar needs. Option B is a private cloud for single organization. Option C is a cloud hosted on a private server. Option D is virtualized environment in a public cloud. Obviously guys, it is very obvious that the correct answer for this question is option number A, that is cloud infrastructure that is shared by several organizations with similar needs. Okay, so hence option A is the correct answer. Moving on. Which of the following is a characteristic of public cloud computing? Okay, so we have different options. We have to tell the characteristic of a public cloud computing. Let's see the options that we have. First is managed by a single organization. Option B is resources are available to general public. Option C is resources are provided only for a specific business sector. And option D is entire infrastructure is on premise. So see guys, in this case the correct answer is going to be option number B, that is in case of public cloud computing, resources are available to general public. Okay, moving on to the next question. In a SaaS model, who is responsible for maintenance of software? Okay, we have to mention that. Let's see the options that we have. First option is the user. Option B is the cloud service provider. Option C is the business owner. And option D is the operating system vendor. The correct answer in this case is going to be option B, that is the cloud service provider. Okay, the cloud service provider is mainly responsible for maintenance of the software. Let's now move on to the next question. Which of the following is not a key characteristic of cloud computing? Options that we have are scalability. Option B is on-demand self-service. Option C is lack of resource pooling. And option D is broad network access. The correct answer in this case is going to be option number C, that is lack of resource planning is not a key characteristic of cloud computing. Okay, Moving on to the next question. Which of the following cloud service providers offers IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS solution? We have different options: AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft, and all of the above. So guys, the correct answer in this case is again going to be all of the above, because all of them provides these services. Okay, let's now see next question that we have. What does the term resource pooling refer to in cloud computing? Okay, let's see the options that we have. The use of multiple cloud sub providers for resource allocation. Option B is consolidating resources from several customers on the same infrastructure. Option C is the ability to store data in physical servers. And option D is using virtualization to increase the hardware usage. So correct answer is option number B, that is consolidating resources from several customers to the same infrastructure, on the same infrastructure. Moving on to our next question. What is the primary function of a virtual machine in cloud computing? Okay, let's see the options that we have. Option A is to store data on the cloud. Option B is to allow multiple applications to run on the server. Option C is to monitor cloud infrastructure, and option D is to allocate resources to different cloud services. Let's see the correct answer for this question. The correct answer will be option number B, to allow multiple applications to run on a server. Hence, the correct answer is option number B. Moving on to our next question. In cloud computing, which of the following is typically shared across multiple customers? Okay, let's see the options that we have. Physical hardware, virtual storage, software applications, or all of the above. See, obviously, in cloud computing, actually, you know, what is happening is multiple customers share all the things. Okay, like they share hardwares also, they share virtual storages also, software applications. That is why we are going to select option D as the correct answer. Moving on to the next question now. What is the primary difference between IaaS and PaaS in cloud computing? Okay, we have to tell the difference between them. Let's see the options. IaaS provides physical infrastructure, while PaaS offers a platform for developers. Okay, let's see the next question that we have. Next option that we have. PaaS offers more flexibility than IaaS. IaaS provides ready-to-use software applications, while PaaS does not. PaaS is for business only, while IaaS is for developers. So guys, the correct answer for this is option number A, which is IaaS provides physical infrastructure, while PaaS provides or offers a platform for developers. Moving on to the next question that we have. Which of the following is not a key service offered by most cloud service providers? Options are computing power. Option B is storage service. Option C is hardware management, and option D is software application management. The correct answer is option C, that is hardware management is not a service that is offered by most cloud service providers. Okay, next is your this question, which is what type of cloud computing service model would a business use if they want to build and deploy their own application without managing the underlying hardware? So hope you have understood the question. They don't want to manage the underlying hardware basically. So for that, which is useful, the options are IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and DaaS. The correct answer for this question is going to be option number B, which is PaaS. Moving on to the next question. Which cloud computing service is commonly used for hosting and managing databases? SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, DBaaS. Okay, so in this one, the correct answer is going to be DBaaS, because DBaaS stands only for database as a service. Okay, that's why the correct answer is option number D. DBaaS is commonly used for hosting and managing databases. Moving on, which of the following is a true for public cloud? Let's see the options that we have. Option A is the cloud infrastructure is used exclusively by one organization. The services are delivered over the internet and available to the public. It is typically slower than private clouds. Data security is the sole responsibility of the customer. The correct answer in this case is going to be option number B, that is the services are delivered over the internet and is available to the public. Moving on to the next question now. What does a cloud provider's elasticity refers to? Okay, let's see the options that we have. The ability to add or remove resources based on demand. The ability to store data at low cost. Option C is the ability to virtualize hardware resources, and option D is the ability to encrypt data automatically. The correct answer is option number A, that is the ability to add or remove data based on demand. So that is what is called as elasticity. Okay? That is the concept of elasticity in cloud computing. Moving on to the next question now. What is the primary role of cloud service provider in IaaS? The options are to provide ready-made applications for the user. Option B is to offer infrastructure and virtualized resources. Option C is to manage the business application. Option D is to develop custom software solutions. Correct answer is option number B, that is to offer the infrastructure and virtualized resources. Let's now have a look at our next question. Which of the following is an advantage of hybrid cloud deployment? Okay, let's see the options. It allows for complete control over the resources. Option B is enables data security and flexibility by combining private and public clouds. Option C is it only requires public cloud resources. On option D is it uses a single cloud provider. So the correct answer is option number B, that is it enables data security and flexibility by combining private and public clouds. Let's now move on to the next option. Okay, so the next question is, in cloud computing, which of the following is responsible for managing virtual environment? Okay, the options are the cloud service provider, the customer service, the cloud applications, and the hardware providers. So guys, I am not going to tell you the answer of this question because this is our do it yourself question for today, which means what you will do is you will figure out the answer of this question. We have already practiced a lot of questions. Now you will figure out the answer of this question, and if you have came so far in the video, then make sure to attempt this question and write down the answer of this question in the comment box. Okay, so that's all for this video. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section and I will guide through it. If you can also join me on Telegram and Instagram, make sure to subscribe to the channel to receive all the regular latest updates from the channel. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching the video.